So, this is the start of an ongoing series where we're going to look at home automation systems. Cameras, switches, plugs, things that can be attached to devices that we have to make them controllable by our phone or a voice. Now, most of these devices are Google-based devices simply because I use an Android phone, and Android and Google work good together. Now, we'll be looking at cameras, plugs, switches. There's water sensors, alarm clocks, speakers. So there's an array of things that you can do with home automation nowadays. It's very inexpensive, easy to install. Today we're going to look at cameras. We're going to look at a camera that costs right at $20. Takes about 10 minutes to install. You can buy it at Walmart. Most of these devices are by companies you may not have heard of, but that's okay. The companies that we haven't heard of simply because they haven't made it big yet, but they're available in all Walmarts, so they're big enough to be sold in Walmarts. So here's a grouping of some devices here. This is a sensor for the thermostat, which we'll be looking at that also. It's a camera, an alarm clock, a movable camera. So there's an array of things that you can do, and we'll be taking a look at those. It's going to be an ongoing series, 1 or 2 a week, and I'll walk you through physically installing these things, and then I'll walk you through downloading the apps and setting the apps up along with your accounts. These things can be very handy. They can be activated from anywhere that your phone is at. So you can turn your lights on and off wherever your phone is. You can look at your cameras wherever the phone is. You can talk through the speakers anywhere your phone is located. And it can find your phone for you if you lose it. Done that many times. So we'll get started now, and I'll show you how to install this first camera. It's a high definition camera. This is their newest version. I think it's $23. Has a metal base. It's a magnet, so you can stick it onto steel. They have this flexible neck so that you can turn them any way you want. And then they have a slot for an SD card, so they can continuously record, and you can pull that information off onto your phone from anywhere in the world. Pretty handy, and I'm surprised that more people haven't heard of these things and that they're not always sold out. They're that handy. So we'll get started on setting one up. Okay, set one of these up. Decide whether you're going to put it on wood, plaster, or metal. And that'll determine the base that you use. So if you're going to use a wood base, you have an option of using a sticker, or you can put small anchors. You can also attach a metal plate with some screws and anchors, and this magnet will attach to that metal plate. That's pretty handy. And wherever you put the camera, if your picture is upside down, you can, in the software, you can flip that picture around so that it's right side up. So it doesn't matter which way you install the camera. It's never upside down. That's a handy thing. So you're gonna decide what type of product you're gonna attach the camera to, and it's simple as installing it there. Make sure you're close to a plug. You'll be running a wire to the plug. That's the only thing that's not great about it, is you have a wire for your power. All right, we want to install our bracket for our camera, but do not attach it yet. Because when we set this camera up, we want to be as close to the router as possible. So we will keep it. Okay, when you get your hardware mounted for the position that you're going to hang your phone, comes time to install the software. Now, first off, you'll be going to the Play Store, Google Play Store. That's where all apps for Android devices are downloaded. We're going to go there. I'm going to click Apps down at the bottom. Now remember, these videos are for people who are new to this stuff, people that haven't had experience with these jobs that I'm recording. So you may know all these things and think it sounds stupid, but somebody watching this video may not know that you click the apps icon at the bottom to get to the apps. So with that said, go to the apps, go into the search, and you'll see where I've looked before. And the Momentum app is one of the cameras that we're looking at today. But specifically right now, we're going to look at the Genie. It's called Genie. So I will look under the Genie app. Now, a lot of times there'll be several apps that have almost the same name, one letter difference. Now, what you need to do is look at the box, look at the logo, and many times you can match up the logo, and that's sometimes the only way you can do it. So look at the logo, make sure you click on the same one that is listed is on your box. So I'm going to see if that's it, and that's it. That's what I'm looking for. So since I've already downloaded it, excuse me, it's just giving me the open option. So I will open it, and hopefully I'm going to be able to blur out all these numbers. Yeah. But this is what the app looks like when you have several devices. Now I have 54 devices on my system. So I have a many on this list. I have a couple more apps that I use, and they're loaded down the same way. So this is a centralized location that you can use all of your devices right here. So what you would do, it initially asks you to create an account. Now it's standard. You put in the standard things: phone number, birthday, name, email address. And then it'll ask you to put in a answer for a verification. I think they do a phone number verification now. I believe it's 2-step, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, then you're going to set up the account. The screen's going to look similar to this, except the bottom part's going to be blank. And what you're going to do is click on the plus sign. Then it gives you a list of devices that you can set up. Now we're going to be setting up a Wi-Fi camera. So we're going to click on Wi-Fi camera. Now, this brand of cameras, they flash blue and they flash red. That's how they tell you what state they're in. And these cameras are they have like a night vision. They turn to a grayscale. It's pretty handy. You can see a lot with it in that night scale. And then during light or during the day, they go back to color. They do that automatically, or you can do it manually. So once you have your camera plugged in, and remember, we want to be near the router. Just find a plug near the router with your phone. Make sure you're on the same Wi-Fi that the device is going to be on. Make sure you're on the same Wi-Fi. And then it'll ask you if the device is blinking. Now, if it's not blinking, it'll walk you through another step of procedures. And it'll get you back to the red light blinking. So you're going to follow those instructions. It's going to ask you for the password. First of all, it's going to ask you for the Wi-Fi network. It'll show you a list. You click on the one that is yours. And when you do that, it'll tell you that these cameras will only work on 2.4 gigahertz. Just click yes, because it's not true. They hook up anyway. So what you want to do is just click OK. And it's going to start looking for your device. Now once it finds your device, it's going to ask you for the password. You're going to put the password in, click OK, and it's going to start searching again. Now your phones are different. Your phone may, let's look. See, there's an easy mode and a QR code mode. Now the QR code mode, you will flip the camera over and scan the QR code on the back. Sometimes that's easier. I've had issues with that route, but it may work best for you. So we're going to add the device. I will walk you through that. Now, the app will create its own network, and it will have Genie.exe or Genie.x, something to do with the name of the product. And what you will do, you will click on that. You will click on that network, and the device will use that network to set up to log itself on to your network. Now when it's doing that, it'll pop up a Wi-Fi Direct. On many Android phones, it will pop up as if it's an error. Now the correct answer will be, it'll give you two options, and one of them is to stay on the current network, keep connected, keep current connection. You click on that. That will keep the device on that connection, even if it feels like there's a better connection somewhere else. So then the app will log your camera onto your Wi-Fi. It will insert your password. Then it will log off of the network that it created and log on to the new Wi-Fi. Now, once that finishes, you will go back to the Genie app, and then you can start setting up your parameters. For instance, if it was a lamp and you set it up, the lamp would show here. But then over here in settings, you could manage that lamp. So the lamp is in the basement. Alright, so there it is. We are looking for, we're going to look at this. And let's go back out of that. Okay, we're going to click on the lamp. Now, once you do that, you can create a schedule for any time that you want that lamp to go on or off. You can have it go on at sunset and off when the sun rises. You can set custom times. You can have it come on when you come in the house. So there's all kinds of things you can do, whatever schedule you want to put on your lamp. You can do that with all these devices. And you also have a timer. You set the time and the day of the week that you want the device to go on or off, and that's what it'll do. Now, this is the individual settings. So here's the device. Here's the name. Now it will have asked you during the setup if you wanted to name the device. And what you'll do is click yes. And all you'll do is click on that spot and then just go back, move the cursor back, and put whatever name you want in, and then click save. It's that simple. Now, under device location, this is where you will put what room that device is in. It's important that you put these because later on, if you get a lot of devices, it's really important, because if you say shut down everything in the kitchen, it needs to know what devices those are, which devices are in the kitchen. Now this is where you can check the network. In this spot, you can connect to the network, see what it is. You can see how strong your signal strength, your signal is. Let's give it a second, see what it shows. And it says it's normal. That's okay. Okay, this is a third-party apps that work with this particular device. If you click on Google Assistant, it will tell you how to set this up in the Google Assistant.
You can use this if you want, and I'll go over some of it. Try to follow me along. I think a lot of their stuff is outdated. I think a lot of this information is outdated. Okay, now you can follow that instructions, or this is a device sharing. This is where you can share out. I just use the rooms. Okay. Now the device will probably pop up when you first install it, and it'll probably install new firmware. If it doesn't, go here. As soon as you get it set up, come here and check for new firmware. That's very important, because a lot of times these devices were constructed maybe a year ago, and they have really updated the firmware, and maybe the camera has some brand new features that just weren't available when the camera shipped or when it was constructed. So you always want to check for firmware update, and if a device lets you, always click to let it try to look for firmware on its own. That way you don't have to be worrying about it. And the last is remove device. Sometimes something may happen, the device just will not work. Something happens, it was working and it quit. You may have to remove the device and restore the manufacturer's defaults the way it was when you got it, and start from scratch. Now, I've had to do these a few times, so it is something that you may have to do. So this is all the settings. Now, I wish I had some way of going over. Okay, I am going to actually remove the device that I have so I can walk you through the whole process, because I think that's important. I was going to skip it, but I think we need to go through the whole process. So I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to remove this camera. And the camera actually is getting a shot of me. See, it's actually taking a shot of me in the dark. That's its night vision. Now you can also talk through these. See, I can press this and I can talk through the camera, and you also have sound. So any sound that comes through the camera, in the area, you hear. If you turn the sound on, you get it. And this is the area where you could take a screenshot, or you could come here and play back videos that were recorded. And you could tell it to record right here. So this is what it'll look like later. I'm going to remove this device. I'm going to remove it. And it's gone. It's gone. So I'm going to go through the whole, there it goes, it's resetting. And I'm going to go through the process of setting this whole thing up. I wanted to keep this video under 20 minutes. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. No, because I'm already at like 20. All right, let me stop for a minute. Okay, so you unbox the device. You plug the cord into the back, plug it into the wall, and you should get a blinking red light. Now, once you have downloaded the app from the App Store, you ran it, you created an account, and then you go to the plus sign, and it'll ask you what device you are installing. This is going to be a Wi-Fi camera. and it's asking me if the light is blinking. Yes, it's flashing quickly. Okay, it's going to search for nearby Wi-Fi networks. Now, if it doesn't come up with your network, right here is where you change it. Now, it already has my password. It has it saved. So I'm going to leave that alone. And if you want to see your password as you're typing, which I suggest you do, because I very frequently put in the wrong password if I don't look at it. So here's the message I told you. We can only connect to 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi channels, not 5. You probably have both channels. And this, people get scared of this. They think it doesn't work. It's not going to work. Just click confirm. And it says it again. Just click continue. Now it's going to search. It's going to try to connect. And I just did connect, and I'm surprised. I'm a good distance from the router. I suggest you be close to the router. We're going to wait a while this thing does its... Yours will probably take a while. Mine was already registered and already knew everything. Yours is probably going to take a while, so be prepared to wait a few minutes. Now, here's where it says, now it added it successfully. Now here's your chance to name this device. Be sure you name it. You don't want all these letters and numbers. Just click on the little pencil and then put your name in. And that was basement camera. And click save. And then it's going to ask you, where's it at? Where is this camera? Well, mine's in the basement. So it's a basement camera in the basement. And we're done. There it is. It's already putting out video. It's already in grayscale night mode. I heard it click over. You can talk through it already. Press and hold to speak. Okay, once again, this is the spot where you can record, can play back something that has been recorded, take a screenshot. This is also the motion detector. If you click on the motion detector, you can turn that on, and you can tell it what time of day to go, which time of day to start detecting motion. And you can adjust the sensitivity. And you can also set the sound detection alarm. And if it hears anything, it will alert. It will start to record. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn off the motion detection. Now, when you set up your device, it got the information, your phone number, email address, and it will notify you if it picks up motion when it's not supposed to, or hears something that is above the level that you requested it. And so you can see here that these are really powerful devices, for $20. And like I said, this is going to be an ongoing series. You're going to see there's some really neat devices. Do a lot of things. They really do a lot of things. I'm going to show you how to set these things up and how you can use them to do a lot of things. So that one's set up. You see, it was that easy. I believe it took 5 minutes, and it may not have been 5 minutes. and then there's the camera, and it gives you some little options here also. It says the motion alert is on, so I'm going to turn that off. No, it's on. It's off. Okay, so it's off. So we're going to leave it at that. And there's all my other devices. There's our settings. Now you can change this view. You can change it like that, and then there's just a straight line of your devices. And you can see on these lights, they have pull-down menus. And on these pull-down menus, you can change the color of the lights and the brightness. We'll get to those later. It's going to load it up and show it to you. This would be, if I click that, it would turn it on. I could set a timer here. And I could also change the color of these lights. But we're not going to do that tonight. And you can set up scenes. Scenes are times of day you want certain lights on. Say you want to turn on certain lights, start certain devices, turn cameras on when you are coming home from work. And you could set up that scene every time you come home from work. All these devices would activate. Cameras would do this or that. Anyway, you could set the scene. Notification center, that's where messages will be if there's any alarms or anything like that. Now, this is your profile. And this is where you would log out. And it asks you to upload a picture. You don't have to, but you can. And go back to my home, and I don't like this view, so I'm going to change the view back to a grid. And that's going to do it for this. It's going to do it for this episode. That will set up your camera. Then the only thing left is to go back and install the camera. And another kind of neat thing here is that you get your outdoor temperature, humidity, and the air pressure, which I always thought was pretty neat. I don't know where that stuff comes from, but it's pretty cool. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope that helped you with this very handy device. I encourage you to go out and get one. They're very, very handy. They put out a good picture. They're easy to set up. So go out and get you a $20 camera or a $20 device from Walmart. They're in the electronics section. So that's going to do it for this episode. And that's the way I do it. We'll see you next time.